water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E.
Yo, what's up everyone, this is Blue Nova and I'm here to bring you guys a new tutorial on how to get vocal quality like Johnny Rain and his new song Highway Murder off his new EP EP2. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell notification icon so that you're notified every time there's a new video. If you want to get the vocal preset, you can get it on bluenovabeats.com. Go to the store, click on the vocal presets tab and just type in Johnny Rain and it should pop up. So for this tutorial, the thing is I'm actually doing this tutorial using all Waves plugins. You guys can use this in any DAW. All you have to have is your Studio Rack. Once you have that, all the presets will load in right here. So I made that available for you guys since so many people are asking for Waves plugins. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just start. And we're gonna start with the lead vocal. For the master channel, I'm gonna turn off what we have, which is just another Studio Rack on a master. So right here with the lead vocal, I just have autotune routed to a bus right here. So my autotune is just going to all these effects for the Studio Rack. And you can use any version of Interest Autotune or just any kind of autotune plugin in general. All you have to do is just make sure the key and the scales around E minor. And I just have the retune speed to around 15% just so that it corrects my vocals correctly. And this is what's gonna sound like with it.
Digging your cut.
And let's just for now, we're gonna turn off Studio Rack and everyone will hear the raw vocals.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
So now we're gonna start into mixing the vocal. So turning all these effects off, let's go ahead and just start with compressor. So I use the H comp for the compressor and all we're doing is just compressing the vocal. If you're using the H comp, make sure to have your analog turned off just because the analog kind of gives the vocal some type of saturation, which I don't like. After having that, I have my release set right here at 5.67. The threshold is at -27.1. Now for every vocal type, the threshold isn't always going to be at -27. The threshold is really how much the compression is pushing against your vocal. So I recorded pretty low in this take compared to most of my vocals, so I'm actually keeping it I'm pushing it a little bit more just so everything is fully consistent. For the ratio, I have it set at 2.12. For the punch is at 0 and the attack have it at 0.86. So this was gonna sound like with the compressor.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
So all we're doing is just getting that consistency with the vocal. The next thing we're gonna use is an REQ6. And this is basically just taking off a lot of the low end in the vocal. In Johnny Rain's vocals, most of them are usually pretty thin and well in the mix. So we're taking off a good amount of the low end, and these are the settings. And this is how much I just boosted it. Really just going around the 8K region and boosting that to around, pretty much to around like 10 decibels. And like I said, Johnny Rain's vocals are very high presence and just very thin. So that's what we're going for.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
The next thing we're gonna do is use the C4, which is a multi-band compressor. So what I'm doing with this is rolling off some more low end in the vocal. We're actually compressing around the 9,000 region. So that's what we're using with the C4.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
So you can see anytime that it goes back up, then everything goes back to normal. Initially I had boosted this frequency, but once you see the compressor activating, it's pushing down that frequency at 9,259. So after that, we're gonna move into the next thing. The next thing is a De-Esser. So what we're doing is just setting the frequency at 5,506 and pushing down the threshold to -39, and that's just taking care of a lot of the sibilance in the vocals.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
After that, we're going to move into the next thing, which is in Reverb. So this is just giving the vocals some reverb. I'm going to switch to the all setting so everybody can just see what everything looks like all together. And these are the settings that you do want to have for it. We're rolling off a good amount of high end, not too much. If we go to the EQ right here, we can see that we're rolling off right here a little bit close to the 8K region and taking off a little bit of the low end.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
After that, we're gonna move into a doubler too. Now this is one of the key important things with his vocals. It sounds like there's some type of doubler on his vocals whenever they're playing. So in order to replicate that same sound, what you want to do is just roll off a good amount of the low end and just take off a little bit of the high end, and now you're gonna hear what it's gonna sound like. Initially, I'd put the doubler before the reverb, but once you're putting the reverb before the doubler, it's also gonna double the reverb, so it's actually giving it more of a full and warm body sound.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
And taking off the reverb just so you hear the doubler, and this is what it sounds like.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on.
And after that, we're gonna use an L1 limiter, and this is basically just to make the entire vocal consistent and push it back in volume. So we're just putting a ceiling of -10. Make sure your release is all the way down to 0.01. And for the threshold, we're just pushing it down pretty much to the lowest level so that we're getting the consistency in the vocal. So this was gonna sound like.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
And the very last thing is just using an H delay. And this is just giving the vocal some bounce in it. I noticed there's some delay going on in his vocal, so we're gonna turn the wet level down to 13%. You wanna make sure the left and right channels are selected. The BPM, I have it at 80, I have it set at 80 BPM. Make sure your analog is off. For low pass, I have it right here at 2.28K. And for the high pass, I have it right here at 449. And pretty much just make sure your lo-fi is selected on too. So this was gonna sound like.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn.
And that's pretty much it for this vocal chain. The very last thing is just adding the Studio Rack master channel that I've also included in the folder. It just provides a brick wall EQ. So we're using the L and EQ broadband, and what I did is just set it at 16K because I noticed that his song was cut at 16K. So you just want to make sure that's set. And the very last thing is just in L3 Ultra Maximizer, and these are the settings for it. So playing everything all together, this is what the entire mix will sound like.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn. Dollar go burn, burn. She said.
And that's essentially pretty much it. I have another ad-lib that comes in this section because that's what he did at that part. And it's pretty much a higher octave that comes in singing. And all you want to do is just have that and just lower down the volume. But that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this tutorial, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want the vocal preset with my raw vocals inside, you can get it on bluenovabeats.com. Go to the store, click on the vocal presets tab and get it there. If you need your song mixed and mastered, just go to bluenovabeats.com, go to the contact form and send me a message there. If you guys have any requests and want more vocal presets for waves, then go ahead and put in the comment section. Let me know what I can do next. But thank you all for watching.
Digging your curves, water on me when I surf. You know I'm gon' do my worst. Shawty on E, body on me when I swerve. Hit the block, then I turn. Dollar go burn, burn. She said that I serve. I didn't know back when I